All right, so we have some good news for once. A lot of bad news in the news, but this is interesting because apparently, at least for a little while, on some song or some track, Aphex Twin somehow beat Taylor Swift in plays, and this is like it gives me hope. Because a lot of my friends are um, into music and they get depressed about AI and stuff like that. And a funny anecdote is my better half here. She heard me say, I think Taylor Swift is pretty, and she goes, "Oh yeah, you're gonna have to listen to a whole song then, one whole song, just one, and then tell me what you think of her." And, and I was like, I barely made it. Like I almost ran out of the room, just I couldn't take it. So, but then again, she told me back in the day, like when I had a magazine with Richard D. James on there, Aphex Twin. She said, "Oh, he's hot." It's like, well, it didn't bother me because I've heard like several times from people that I look like him, kinda, sorta. So I'm like, all right, yeah, whatever. Didn't really like, you know, and I was always playing Aphex Twin, so I didn't have to like, she didn't really get the music, but she kind of got it. And still does. She's appreciated electronic music. See, what Aphex Twin makes is not even music. It's like how like drummers are not really musicians, but they make something rhythmical and even melodic, but it doesn't fit the rules of music. It just does what it does. And there's no telling what he'll do. He has some stuff that sounds like your standard four on the floor techno, and he has some stuff that has just like a normal beat. He has stuff that sounds like drum and bass. I mean, you never know with him. Uh, the only thing better to me than him is like a Tekra. But there's a lot of the guys. There's a few people that are like there's like a class of musicians or what you want to call them that are in his sphere. That like you got Plaid, you've got Square Pusher, which I've seen live. So there's like a number of people in that kind of genre, but he has like the biggest like cult following. And what impressed me was when I went back on Instagram after like I don't know years of being off of it. Uh, I saw that like I went and typed like Aphex Twin to try and find people that like him so I could follow them and just kind of see what's going on because he's very like he likes to do things kind of in a like you got to find me like he doesn't promote himself that well or sometimes or doesn't or he makes he hides himself sometimes but he leaves little like nuggets out there for people to find him like little like a trail of links or something. Like he had a SoundCloud with like a bunch of random numbers or some like some user 58783, something like that. And people knew it was him because it sounds so unique. And so, since Taylor Swift makes music that is like the easiest stuff for this AI crap to scrape and recreate, the slop or whatever, micro slop as we call it now, um, Aphex is going to be hard to do that to. You can make it sound like an old song he made, but you can't make it sound because he always makes something like new. You know, when he makes something, he comes up with a new idea. He doesn't just like rehash or redo or he won't make music unless he's inspired to do something unique. Because like whatever's in the past is in the past. For the most part, that's how I get a guy like him. He's like he doesn't even come out with a new album unless he's inspired. You know, and the Tay Tay will just be like, I need to make a new album. And the joke is it's always about her ex boyfriend or something, some bullshit like that. But to me, this is like it gives hope to the idea that um, this AI stuff is not going to destroy creativity. It's not. When someone like Aphex Twin can beat somebody who makes like the most boring, predictable pop music, throw a pretty face on it, and then sells. It's just it's boring, you know. And yeah, and the Aphex Twin fans, what really blew my mind was this the age range. Like you have Gen Zers that like Aphex Twin that are like not they have like accounts on Instagram that are like almost dedicated to him. Um, yeah, and like all these memes about like Aphex Twin, and to me, in this kind of genre of whatever you want to call it, Altekra beats everybody, but he's definitely right up there. Close second, and he has a amazing following, and also noteworthy when the coronavirus hit, like early on, we're talking in the 2 weeks, the 2 weeks to flatten the curve. He put out a long letter on the internet, deleted it after like 3 days. He's like one of those kinds of guys, but people obviously saved it and screenshotted it and whatnot. And he had said basically like, you got to think twice about this. I think we're being scammed. Something like that. I'm totally beyond paraphrasing, but he said things like the tests and stuff like that. He was just going off about it, and he caught a lot of heat, because he lives in the UK, and everybody was just being all like obedient and stuff. But he spoke his piece, and I totally agreed with him. Turned out he was right, totally, because he's got a brain. And then of course Tay Tay and her boyfriend, I don't know if it's the same boyfriend, I think it is, were like, doing the roll up your sleever campaign, like, get your injection, So total sellout, total original uh, on the left there. So yeah, there is hope, my friends.